Hi guys, Berryman here to give you a tutorial on a little something called the factory gauge. Now, I've had quite a few people that I saw in the chat for the Brassworks SMP that just didn't understand them very well. So, I'm here to hopefully be able to give a little bit of help with how it works. So, first, you're going to need, of course, the factory gauge. Going to need the packager, frog port, your stock ticker, and stock link. Which you don't really need. Actually, yes, you don't really need the stock ticker with the factory gauge, but for what I'm going to be doing, you will. Uh, or at least I will. So, gonna grab a blaze burner, our goggles, and a lever. One thing that I did forget to grab is a sign, but everything that does require a sign, I already have set up with one. So, really, we don't need to worry about that, at least right now. So, of course, I already have one vault set up here. There's another one over here, and I'll be showing you how to set things up for sending and receiving from the chain conveyor with it sending straight to your different automation setups and everything, just like I have over here. So first, of course, you got your packagers. Now, reason I'm going to be setting them up here is because over here we are going to be setting up where you can just pull from it directly yourself. And as you can see at the top, right up there where it shows the iron vault and what's in it, I do already have one waxed block of copper in there. That is what we are going to be making with this simple setup that I have so far. So, and reason why I have, the rectangle of chain conveyors is just because they, with the settings on this particular creative world that I have, for some reason they don't have near the reach that the Brassworks SMP has. So it's a bit odd to me, but nothing that I really can do about it as far as I know. And I'm not too worried about it. This is just for the tutorial video anyway. So, first things first, after you got your packagers, you're going to link your frog port to the chain from the chain conveyor and place it. Now this one is going to be our input. So this one we need to name. Now the other one I already have named main. So this one, let's just name it second. Actually, let's just make it easier and name it 2. Short and simple. Which you can name it whatever you want, doesn't really matter, as long as this is the only one for this or the ones for this inventory has that name. So go ahead and set up our second one here. This one is going to be only sending, so there's no need to actually give it a name. And what I like to do is on my ones that send packages only, just put on a pair of goggles for them. That way I can differentiate from a distance. This one is sending, this one's receiving, and that way if this one is taking in but this one isn't sending anything out, I know this is where the problem is, and it's sending. So it's so much easier that way. Or if this one is supposed to be taking in but nothing's being taken in, but the sending is still sending stuff out, either that means the inventory is full, or there's something wrong with, say, the crafting, like there's a stack of stuff in here that's not supposed to be in there, that sort of thing. So we got that set up. Now we are going to put a stock link right there, which we don't really need to put, the blaze burner and the stock ticker here. I only have that there so that, I can show you we have the 9 copper ingots and the honeycomb block in here already. This is your stock keeper, who is, because he's sitting in front of the stock link, that is connected to, or the stock ticker, sorry, that's already linked to the stock link that is connected to this item vault. It lets you see what everything that is going to be in that inventory. And then, of course, I hate to do this, but you can also have it send out, and because it doesn't have an address, it is just going to be spinning there. So let's go ahead and grab it and just put it right back in. There we go. And see, it is right back in there. Now you can also open a package by either placing it on the ground and breaking it, by punching it with your fist or hitting it with an axe, or you can just shift right click and it'll open and be right there in your inventory. Now, so we have this set up over here. As far as using it with the stock links, this is all you really need. Because this, you then take oh, I am not speaking right today. Your factory gauge, this is all you need as far as linking it up to this, because then you link it directly to the stock link. This is your full network for it, or what gives you your network for this one item vault. So, but right now, because this is the main, and this one is the one that has the honeycomb block, the 9 copper ingots, and that is also what the sign on the side of the sending out for our crafting areas, that's what the address is. It is, of course, going to be sending to this inventory. So this is the one that we want to use for the factory gauges. So gonna set that there, and now we select the copper ingots. We can just pull it from the JEI or EMI, drop it over into here, and there we go. See, it's showing that there are 9 copper ingots in here, which is exactly what we want. That's exactly what we want to see anyway. So there we go. We place another one. This one is going to be the copper block. There we go. See, now it shows the sprite for it there. And now when we right click, it gives us this. And this we are going to be sending to compress, because that is the address that I have on the guy on the frog for the compressing. So now create the link there. See, now it has a little line showing that it is connected. Now, even though there's only one and it does require 9 to make one block of copper, you do now have this button, use mechanical crafting. That means that there is a recipe in the JEI or EMI that uses only copper ingots to make the block of copper. So you click that and it automatically shows that recipe. And that way you can have it send to a 3x3 square of mechanical crafters that are all connected using your wrench on the back on the lines. And the packager that it goes to will put it directly into the mechanical crafters in the pattern that they need to be. So, like, that is a really cool feature. It automatically has the recipes and everything for you. But that's not how we're going to be doing it. We're going to be compressing it. So, go ahead and use your scroll wheel, change that to 9, and we'll be expecting 1. And because this is not percentage based, we're not going to mess with this here. If it was percentage based, like say washing gravel to try to get iron nuggets, which is a 12% chance, then we would want to scroll to modify this so that the promises or what it has sent to try to complete that recipe will expire, and it will send more, because whatever amount you set it to, that is what it is going to continue to try to pull for it to craft until it has the amount that you have set that it deems necessary. So because this is not percentage based, we're not going to mess with that. So now, of course, as you can see, it says inactive, no target amount set. To change that, you are going to click and hold with the right click, and now we can use the slider, see, and set it for however many items, stacks, or vault blocks worth we want. And just one vault block, it holds, I think it's roughly 37 stacks. So, but we're just worried about one item. So see, now it's turning blue. There goes the package. And now it's picked up there, going through, compressed, and sent. And there we go. Now if we take a look, there's our block of copper. So that is perfect. Works how it's supposed to, as intended. Now we're going to take another one, place it there, and one there. And this one is going to be our honeycomb block here. There we go. See, it shows that there's one. And this one is going to be our waxed block of copper. Alright. And just like before, link it up there, see our line, and we can go and do another one. And now this one, because it is a method of applying the honeycomb block to our block of copper, we don't have the mechanical crafter button anymore. Now this one, of course, I have it named just wax because that's all that line is doing right now. Of course, it will change depending on what you are wanting to use it for. Like this one's compress. I also do press, mix, etc. Washing, smelting, all that. So now you see it's got both lines going into it. We have our address set. Nothing for the promises or anything. So we don't have to worry about that. And now we just set our target number, which is 1. And now it is going to send out both the copper block and the honeycomb block. There we go. And being sent back. And there it goes. And now we have one waxed block of copper. So, with that, let's go ahead and just have that send it out. Because there is one more cool thing about the factory gauges, that you can actually use the 2 different item vaults or 2 different inventories that it pulls from. It makes it really cool. So this is still linked to that stock link, and when you can place it directly on the packager, and from there you can right click it with the item, or you can do just like we did before. And let's go ahead and link this one to that stock link and put it on this one. And you can place however many on the sides of the packagers as you have space for. So it doesn't really matter. So now we got that in there. And see, there's the empty address underneath it when you right click. And this is for restocking. So gonna select main, check mark, because that's going to be sending it to main from over there. Now we set it. We'll just set it for 1. So now there it goes. Now that 1 is over here and out of here. So let's go ahead and do the same over here. And so because there's only 1 block, is sending it back, and then is going to send it on basically a round trip. And it's just going to keep going back and forth and back and forth until both of these have been met. Just like that, now it's stopped. So, as far as the factory gauges go, that is pretty much it. That's also how you're able to link up multiple vaults and have some of them that it is strictly certain items that's in it, while you have your main inventory that can have a smaller number of each thing, and then once it gets low of that, it pulls more from the other inventories. Now, I'm going to show you how at least I like to have access to these item vaults real quick. So with this, let's see, don't need this anymore, well, go ahead and keep that. So you're going to need you 2 barrels, your packagers, you're going to need 4 of these, one going into the top barrel, and then underneath it, a packager going into the vault, and then on the other side, and you can do it either side you want, it doesn't matter, on the other side of the top barrel, going into the vault, and underneath that, into the bottom barrel. So then you got your 2 chutes, and that's already how it's going to be going through. We're going to take a stock link, place it on this one that's pulling from the vault on the top. That way it drops down into this barrel that is going to be our output where we pull items from. This barrel is where it's going to pull out from the barrel and deposit it into our vault. So I'm going to take a stock ticker, connect it to the stock link, put it right there in the middle. And something I do like to do is make the chutes windows. That way, whenever it's pulling out, if the vault is full, I can see that because there's a package just sitting right here in the chute. So that is now connected. Now I could set a seat right in front of it and put a mob on it like a chicken, and it'll work as a stock keeper for the stock ticker. But you can also, just one, you can also place a blaze burner, and that'll be your stock keeper. See, now I can select the wax block of copper. There it goes. And here's my wax block of copper. And now that I have that pulled out, it keeps going around. So let's go ahead. Oh, I forgot to put the lever. Now it's pulling it, and there we go. Now we have our wax block of copper here, and one over there. And that is pretty much it. Like, as far as accessing it with this, and just a little added bonus as far as what I like to do, it's quick, simple, and you can have it on the very end of your item vault, because it will fit in the 3x3 square there. But as far as the factory gauges go, that is pretty much it. That's like putting it on the packagers, and of course over here configuring the recipes for the automation, which sends it to your frog ports and all that. It is very simple, very easy once you understand it. A bit time consuming, especially since for it to get to here, of course, got to wait for the copper ingots to build up and then compress into the blocks of copper, and then eventually get waxed for making the wax block of copper, etc., etc. So the longer your tree goes for the different recipes that it's crafting, the longer it's going to take. But there is also the fact that pretty much everything, almost everything at least, you're making from cobblestone. One of the great things about Create is with enough automation you can make everything just from one source of water and one source of lava. So I hope this tutorial has been helpful, and hope to see you guys in the Brassworks SMP. and I hope you guys have a great day.